Kim and I would like to thank you for allowing us to speak with you this evening. As Delia said, in March of 2016, at the age of 51, I was diagnosed with younger onset Alzheimer's disease. We went through almost a year of hospital visits with testing and misdiagnoses. During this time, majority of the physicians and neurologists mentioned the possibility of Alzheimer's, but disregarded the diagnosis because I was, in their words, too young. I have a strong family history of the disease. My father is currently living with Alzheimer's, and my grandfather and uncle have passed away from the disease. And as you are likely aware, and as it was said, Alzheimer's is a terminal brain disease for which at present there is no way to prevent or cure. In addition, with my younger onset diagnosis, the progression in many cases is accelerated. I've been told my life expectancy is about 4 to 8 years. We're praying for it to be much longer than that. My wife, Kim, was first to receive the news of my diagnosis. Kim came home early from work. She picked me up so that we could talk privately away from our kids and my parents who live with us. We sat on the bench in our local park, and she told me, I spoke to the doctor, it's Alzheimer's. Needless to say, we wept. A few days had passed, and we made an appointment with my trusted neurologist from Columbia Medical Center. I wanted to know what my prognosis was. And frankly, I asked, how long do I have to live? The doctor told me not to go there. You are in the early stages, and you need to live a fruitful and purposeful life. My doctor encouraged me to be proactive in planning for my future and suggested I reach out to the Alzheimer's Association to get involved and stay engaged. So within days of my diagnosis, I reached out to the association. I have lived a life of serving others, and I wanted to extend this to my community of people living with Alzheimer's and related dementias. The Alzheimer's Association helped me to do that. I applied for and became a member of the Alzheimer's Association National Early Stage Advisory Group, joining others from across the country to raise awareness of the disease by sharing our personal stories. I am currently serving on the Early Stage Advisory Council of the Delaware Valley and Greater New Jersey chapters of the Alzheimer's Association, and I am a member of the Greater New Jersey Congressional Team. On the Congressional Team, I represent the personal perspective of the early stage Alzheimer's and advocate for on a state and federal legislative priorities that will make Alzheimer's disease a national priority. The Alzheimer's Association has given me great support, encouragement, and purpose to advocate for and create awareness for people living with Alzheimer's. Kim and I also provide volunteer support at monthly educational programs. These programs are provided in person and online, offering valuable information to families across the country. Educational programs and support groups help empower individuals affected by Alzheimer's disease by learning what to expect, how to manage day-to-day challenges, and plan for the future. One of the most valuable services the Alzheimer's Association offers is their 24/7 helpline. With the helpline, Kim and I have access to information and support from knowledgeable staff that's just a phone call away. Knowing that this resource is available anytime, day or night, is reassuring for both Kim and I. These support programs and services are offered free of charge from the generous support of our donors. We rely on this support to expand the reach of these programs and services across the country to serve all affected by this disease. When a person is diagnosed with Alzheimer's, especially someone like me, who is in the prime of their life, your world can come crashing down upon you. And in many cases, it is difficult not to withdraw and become isolated from the world around you. Yet during my time of greatest need, the Alzheimer's Association was there for me and my family. And now my wife, Kim, would like to share from the perspective of a caregiver.
Hello, everyone. Like Jeffrey said, I'm here to share my perspective as a caregiver. I care for my husband, and I also care for my father-in-law, who lives with us. When I'm personally faced with a challenge, I attack the problem by learning as much as possible about the subject matter. The night we received Jeffrey's diagnosis, I visited the Alzheimer's Association website and joined Alz Connect. It's an online community where I immediately connected with other caregivers to share my concerns, and I also received guidance from other members. I also immediately registered for a younger onset Alzheimer's care group to learn more about what to expect and how to begin to plan for our future now. The availability of this support was invaluable. Every month, I travel over an hour each way to attend the support group. My connection to this group is important because we all share experiences for caring for someone who's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia before the age of 65. The challenges and life changes we face as care partners and caregivers are unique. My husband had to retire early, so we had the loss of income, planning for long-term care. At this time, I tried to apply for long-term care insurance, and obviously we were denied, so we do not have that. The changing of parental roles requires special consideration for families living with the younger onset Alzheimer's. I was 42 when my husband was diagnosed, and panic sat in rather quickly. He was the main breadwinner. We had 2 young adults in college and 1 entering the following year. My in-laws, again, my father-in-law has Alzheimer's, they had just moved in so that we could care for them. And I thought to myself, how am I going to do this? I immediately scheduled an appointment to meet with an elder law attorney to update our wills. We took steps to create a living will and powers of attorney for Jeffrey. With a transition away from his career much sooner than we had expected, I took on 2 part-time jobs in addition to the very stressful full-time management position that I already had. I was encouraged by peers in my support group to also speak to an attorney who specializes in Medicaid planning to help protect what little assets that we have. During our first hour consultation on the phone, I was extremely upset. I hung up the phone and I grabbed my face and just cried like a baby. I was so overwhelmed and terrifying to deal with this situation at our age. After our initial phone call, I did nothing for 6 months. I wouldn't answer my attorney when he would call on the phone. I just didn't want to deal with anything. However, as I started to see my husband slowly progress, I realized I needed to finish this final piece of financial planning. We are actually still in the process of completing this last step, and thankfully we found legal and financial professionals who understand what we are going through and provide much needed assistance. After our last visit with the attorney, Jeffrey told me in the car how surreal the experience was for him. He said, sitting in the attorney's office and lucidly discussing your end-of-life directives when you have a terminal disease is so vastly different than the experience one has when applying for life insurance as a young adult. Our goals now are compressed by time. Being there together for our kids' college graduation, their marriages, and playing with our grandchildren are the top 3 items of my husband's bucket list. The Alzheimer's Association has given my husband a purpose. He has been given the opportunity to use his voice to advocate for others who can no longer speak for themselves. He has said many times, the cure may not come in his lifetime. However, he is doing everything he can, including participating in a clinical trial, because a cure will come in our children's and grandchildren's lifetime, in your children's and your grandchildren's lifetime. The Alzheimer's Association has given me information and support during the most difficult points in my life. The resources I have received helped me to prepare to face the challenges ahead and recognize that I am not alone in this journey. I feel more confident traveling this path knowing that the Alzheimer's Association is there to walk alongside of our family and millions of other families just like ours. On behalf of us, thank you for your time this evening, and thank you for your support to fight to end Alzheimer's.